Jake here for American Trucks, and today I'm taking a look at the barred front bumper fitting 2015 to 2017 F-150s, excluding the Raptor. Now this bumper is going to appeal to the F-150 owner who wants some serious protection and clearance for their truck. With the flexibility to mount lights and other accessories, plus some additional lighting included in the kit, this bumper is going to give you everything you need to get the front end of your F-150 looking aggressive and functioning the way you want it, and it'll do it for one of the best prices in the category. Replacing your front bumper can seem like a bit of a daunting modification, but it's one that can have a huge impact on both the look and functionality of your truck. Stylistically, this is obviously a big departure from the original bumper. It's much smaller, more low profile and aggressive looking than the original, and it cuts up a lot closer to the body of the truck. It certainly gives the F-150's already imposing front end an even more aggressive look. And since again it does cut up much closer to the body of the truck and is narrower overall, it gives you a lot more clearance in the front end. So you'll have a much better approach angle for when you encounter obstacles out on the road or especially out on the trail. Now you also get two LED cube lights included for the outer portion of the bumper so you don't lose your fog lights. In the center here, you can leave this included grille installed, or you can take it out to make room for additional lighting or other accessories. A license plate mount is also included here for those of you who live in a state that requires a front plate. And this whole thing is designed to be a bolt-on replacement for your stock bumper as well, so there are no modifications needed to get it fitted. Construction here is quite stout. The bumper itself is constructed from steel and it's finished off in a multi-layer coating. The steel is pre-treated to remove impurities and then it gets a phosphate layer to prevent any rust or corrosion before the coating is applied. Next is an E-coating, which is then topped off with a textured black powder coat. So this should be able to stand up to the elements and prevent rust and corrosion. And that steel construction also means that it's super solid. So between the material and the coating, if you're encountering obstacles out on the trail or even on the road, this can take a beating. The brackets are all also finished in the same steel and coating as the bumper itself too, so the entire setup is going to be really solid. Those cube lights that we were talking about earlier are again all LEDs, and they are IP67 waterproof rated. So between that and the LEDs, they should stand the test of time. They've got a finned aluminum housing on the back, plus a clear polycarbonate lens over top, and they come pretty much ready to plug into the included harness. We'll talk more about that though in a moment. Pricing comes in around $600, and that makes it one of the most affordable full-width bumpers on the market for this gen of F-150. Now this one doesn't include a winch mount or an overrider bar, but if you want the extra clearance and protection, this is a great way to get it for a reasonable price, and there is a lot included in this kit as well. Installation is going to get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and it should take you about 2 hours to complete the job. Now again, this is a totally bolt-on setup. Doesn't require you to make any modifications to your truck. It's going to use all your factory mounting points, and it's just going to swap right in place of your factory bumper. Now these things can be cumbersome. This one is pretty heavy. So for the sake of ease and for the sake of safety, I would highly recommend getting a friend or somebody to help you get your original bumper off and get this new one into place. That's about all I can say for it here. So with that, why don't we head out to the shop where we'll show you the install process.
First install, you need a 3/8 impact, a 3/8 ratchet, a 3/8 to 1/2 adapter, a 21, an 18, a 16, and a 10mm socket, a 5 and a 4mm Allen socket, a trim removal tool, a 16 and two 13mm wrenches, a 10mm wrench, and also not shown be a cutting tool for the frame extension bolts. All right, today we're going to be installing a bumper on our F-150. But first we're going to watch a video how to install a stock one, and then we'll come back here to install the new one.
Now before we touch any of the hardware, the first thing we're going to do is unplug some of our electronics. You can see the back of the driver's side fog light right here, and we're just going to press down on that tab at the top, and that should pop right out like so. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we can get started with the hardware. The first thing we're going to want to remove is on the outside of each frame rail. It's an 18mm nut. You're going to need a small extension to get to this one. Now the last couple nuts we need to get to, they're underneath this big plastic piece right here. I guess this would be where your lower grille would be, but it's really closed off. All we're going to do is pry that away with the trim panel removal tool. Now you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. 2 of these on either side, 21mm socket. Now with all of that out of the way, you should just be able to pull that right away from the truck.
All right, now when you get your new bumper, you will see that it is folded up. There are 2 nuts and bolts right here and here that are just securing it. So you just gotta take them out so we can unfold it. All right, now that we have it folded out, you will see that there are 2 bolt holes right here just to mount it. So we're gonna grab our supplied M10 bolts, our lock washer, and flat washer, and thread them in. This does move to make it easier to line up the bolt hole. Put them threaded in, and we're gonna grab our ratchet with our 16mm socket and tighten them down. All right, we have 2 bolts right here and here that are loose. They were for the bumper to pivot, so we're gonna do is tighten them down. It's gonna be a 16mm wrench and an 18mm short socket. All right, now you just do the same thing for the other side. All right, we're now gonna mount our top plate. It's gonna mount like this. So the flat edge is going to face up on the bumper. Just gonna slide it in between here. Then our bolts will go through our 3 holes, right here, here, and here. So it's gonna be, grab our bolt, our small flat washer, stick that through. Then we're gonna grab our bigger washer and our nut. Then we're gonna put our other 2 in. All right, then we're gonna grab our ratchet with our 4mm Allen socket and a 10mm wrench and tighten them down. All right, now we're gonna mount our fog light. What we need to do is put our bracket on first, and then we can mount it to our bumper. How our bracket mounts on, we have our 2 nuts. They'll go into the grooves inside here and here. The bracket will go on the outside, and then our Allen bolts will go through the outside. All right, now it might be a little difficult just to get the nuts properly located. We're just gonna do one at a time. All right, we got 1 in. We're gonna put our bracket in and just start our 1 bolt. Take our supplied Allen key and just start it. As you will see, the bracket will go on the other side of the wire. All right, we got our other 1 in. We're just gonna get these snug. And then we can mount it to our bumper. All right, now we're gonna take our supplied bolt, put our lock washer and then flat washer. Put that through the bottom of the bracket like so. Now slide it into place. And we're gonna put our nut on our top side. Then we're gonna grab two 13mm wrenches and just snug it up. All right, once it's snug, you can move it to your desired location. All right, then we can tighten it down. All right, then we're just gonna take our Allen wrench and just tighten our two Allens down. All right, and you just repeat the same thing for the other side. All right, now before we get our bumper on, we're gonna run our wiring. So we have our positive and negative wires that we're gonna connect to our battery. We have a relay, a button, and our two connectors that go to our fog lights. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our two 10mm nuts off of our battery terminals. As you can see, we have an adapter for a battery charger already on. That's fine, we're just gonna stack it on top. So we're gonna grab our ratchet with a 10mm socket, take them off. We need to tighten them back down now. All right, now for the relay, you can mount yours however you want. If you mount to the frame rail or anything like that, just for demonstration purposes, we're just gonna rest ours back to our battery. All right, now we're going to run our switch along the front of the vehicle to the other side so we can go through the firewall. So we're gonna run it across up top here, and we'll zip tie it a couple places so it stays off the engine. All right, and now we're going to run it down along the side of the booster, and we're going to go through the firewall right underneath. All right, now you can run your wire through the firewall however you want, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through the big rubber plug right under the booster that holds our wiring loom. So we're just going to pull it out of the way and slide our button in, and then we'll go to the inside of the vehicle and pull it through. All right, and you can mount yours wherever you want. We're gonna mount ours right on our dash here, right next to our other light buttons. It's double-sided tape, peel the cover off, and just stick it on. All right, what we're gonna do is now we're gonna grab our fog light wires. We're gonna run them on the side of the grill over here. Run yours however you want. We're just gonna run ours out of the way. Just make sure it doesn't touch any of the active shutters or anything. And then just pull the slack through. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our one wire, run it along the front so we can run it to our driver's side. If you want, you can zip tie it to your factory harness, whatever you wanna do. And now you can also take the time protecting your factory harness if you want to electrical tape the connector, protect however you want, because it will just be exposed, and then just zip tie it out of the way. All right, for this kit, it does want you to remove the frame extension. As you can see, ours are cut for the lift kit that we have on here. But to remove this, so the bolts will hit the frame when you start loosening them, so they will need to be loosened and then cut. Use a Sawzall or anything like that to remove them. And just do that on this side and the other side. All right, now we're gonna come to the frame here. We're gonna take off our double bolt plate, and then you will have a single bolt plate on your vehicle down here. We are missing ours. We're just gonna use another nut and bolt for ours, but you will swap all this over to the new bumper, and you just take them off this side and the other side. All right, now we're gonna take our factory bolt plates and put them through the bumper. We're gonna take our plastic retainers, and you can just thread them onto the studs, and that will hold them in place. All right, now remember, you will have your own factory single nut plate that goes through here. We just have our bolt and nut that we're gonna use. All right, you just do the same thing for the other side. All right, now we're gonna lift our bumper into place. If you need to, grab a friend or someone to help you out, because this is pretty heavy. We're just gonna get it into place, and we're gonna thread our nuts onto the back side. All right, now we're gonna hand thread on our nuts. Remember, this one will be an 18 millimeter for you for the bottom. And then we have two 21 millimeters on the top. One here, and one on the other side that you probably can't see right now. All right, then we'll grab our ratchet, 21 millimeter socket, and tighten the top two. All right, then we can tighten our bottom one. All right, now you can plug in your fog light. It's just a simple connector. And then you can wrap up the wiring however you want, grab some zip ties and zip tie it all out of the way. And then once you get done that, you do the same thing on the other side. All right, now we're gonna put on our lower splash shield. There's 4 mounting points right here, 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 and here. There are supplied nut plates that we're gonna slide over. All right, now that they're all in place, we're gonna put your splash shield up, and then we're gonna grab our supplied Allen bolts, put our lock washer and flat washer on, put our plate up, and then we can thread our bolts in. All right, we're gonna grab our ratchet with our 5 millimeter Allen socket and tighten them down. All right, so now we're gonna put on our front license plate bracket. It's going to mount like that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our bolt, our flat washer, put that through the front side. Grab another washer and our nut, thread it on the back. Do the same thing on the other side. All right, we're gonna grab our ratchet with our 4 millimeter Allen socket and a 10 millimeter wrench on the back. Tighten them down. All right, and then we have our 2 plastic plugs to mount our plate. They just push in the front. All right, and that wraps up our install of our barred front bumper for a 2015 to 2017 F-150, excluding the Raptor. And remember, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.